Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Ian Scott, and I'm the Managing Partner at Scott Legal. Today we're going to continue our video series on common E-2 questions. And the question that we're going to ask today is probably one of the most popular questions that we receive, and that is, how much do I have to invest? Now, there are really three factors that we look at when determining how much an applicant has to invest. The first factor is really, what type of business is it? So the government doesn't specify that there's a specific amount that an individual has to invest, but rather they look at the business and they look at how much it would cost to start up that particular business. So for example, if an applicant is starting up a service-oriented business, for example, a consulting firm, then the applicant may be able to invest $50,000. But if the applicant is starting, for example, a car manufacturing plant or some business that requires a substantial investment, like $200,000, $300,000, then the applicant would be required to spend close to that amount to meet this particular test. The second factor that we look at with respect to how much you have to invest is where you apply. So when you're applying for an E-2 visa, you're typically going to apply at a US consulate. And every single consulate will have different requirements for how much an individual invests. So for example, we've processed E-2 visa applications in consulates like the US consulate in Toronto, where the investment amount can be under $100,000. Where there are consulates around the world where we couldn't even think of applying, regardless of the type of business, unless the investment amount was over $300,000. So the third factor that we look at with respect to how much an individual has to invest is really just the rest of the application. One thing that we try and convey to E-2 visa applicants is that the investment amount is one requirement of the application. So an individual with a lower investment amount may have other parts of their application. So for example, they may have lots of US workers that they've been able to hire. They may have various letters of intent of people who want to hire them. So they might have other aspects of their application that make their application stronger so that their investment amount can be a little lower. So really when we're looking at investment amount, we're looking at all of these three factors.